The woman charged with murder after the crash that killed 2 students has her first day in court.
Harrisburg police released a surveillance picture of a man they say sexually assaulted a teenage girl after offering her help when her car was stolen.
2 children are hit by a pickup truck while in a crosswalk in Lancaster.
Turning warmer, a little wet for the weekend, but before that, we could get a touch of snow.
Coverage you can count on continues. This is WGAL News 8 at 6.
Good evening, I'm Ron Martin.
I'm Kim Lemon. Harrisburg police are asking for help in identifying a man wanted in connection with the sexual assault of a 17-year-old girl.
WGAL News 8's Barbara Barr has more on the investigation.
Investigators want to identify the man in this surveillance photo taken at City Gas on State Street in Harrisburg. They believe he may have befriended a 17-year-old girl outside the store the morning of November 26th. The teenager's vehicle had just been stolen after she left it running, and she was seeking help.
So he took advantage of someone who was very, very distraught at the moment. She felt that he was going to be helping her and took her someplace sexually assaulted her.
Police say the teenager called police right after the alleged assault. She believed the attack happened at a residence in the Allison Hill neighborhood.
This time we're looking for the location where everything occurred at. She was very distraught, so it's understandable that her memory may not be 100% as far as where it occurred.
I talked with a clerk and a couple of customers inside City Gas. They say the man in the photo looks familiar to them and may have come into the store as often as once a week in the past, but they don't know his name or where he lives.
And Dauphin County Crime Stoppers has offered up to a $2,000 reward for anyone that can give us information that could lead to an arrest in this case.
In Harrisburg, Barbara Barr, WGAL News 8.
Anyone with information on the suspect can contact Harrisburg police or submit a tip through Crime Stoppers.
In her first day in court, the woman charged with murder in the crash that killed 2 Warwick High School students learned today she will not be heading to jail today. WGAL News 8's Caitlin Smith explains.
A judge set Deborah Slaymaker Walker's bail at $1 million, and all of the about a dozen charges against her, including 2 counts of third-degree murder, still stand. But she is not headed to jail, at least not yet, in the same crash that the district attorney's office says she caused by her, quote, sustained reckless driving. The crash that took the lives of 2 Warwick High School students also caused injuries to her. The judge says she is in a wheelchair and would not get the medical attention she needs in prison. He says she showed up here today in an ambulance, so he is sending her home. That's where she will have to stay and wear an electronic monitoring device until her next court appearance, which is scheduled for the day after Christmas. In Lancaster County, Caitlin Smith, WGAL News 8.
In light of the recent tragedies in the Warwick School District, the Warwick Education Foundation is raising money for a district-wide facility therapy dog program. The goal for the Paws for Warwick campaign is to raise $30,000 to provide 3 full-time therapy dogs for students. You can find a link to donate on our website, WGAL.com.
To Harrisburg now, where a woman who was struck by a hit-and-run driver has died. Just over 2 weeks ago, Dr. Laura Johnson Hummel was hit by a car at 3rd and Chestnut Streets after leaving a nearby Rite Aid drugstore. The driver kept going. Hummel's sister says that she was an educator, wife, and mom who made a difference in a lot of lives.
I have received so many messages from colleagues and former students, and she inspired so many people.
Police are offering a $2,000 reward for anyone who has information leading to an arrest.
2 children were hit by a pickup truck this morning while in a crosswalk in Lancaster. It happened right in front of Washington Elementary near the intersection of South Ann and Chesapeake Streets just before 8:30. Police say the 2 siblings, 7 and 8 years old, were hit by a pickup truck driven by 63-year-old Santos Negron. The children were both taken to the hospital with minor injuries. Negron was cited with failing to yield to pedestrians in a crosswalk.
UPMC Pinnacle is closing its hospital in Lancaster. The hospital was once known as Lancaster Regional and St. Joe's. WGAL News 8's Meredith Jorgensen reports.
People who live around and work at this hospital say they're shocked by UPMC's announcement to close it.
Disappointment. This place has served the community for a long, long time. And, they're very skilled people, dedicated doctors, dedicated nursing.
Licensed nurse practitioner Ed Myslinski worked here for 20 years before losing his job a month ago.
We're basically like a big family. So this is especially this time of year, this is terrible. Absolutely terrible.
The company is not specifying how many people will lose their jobs as a result of the closure. Cindy Zieg says her husband and mother have been well cared for here.
It's just very sad because the people and the employees here, they care about their people, they care about the patients, they take very good care of them.
In a statement, UPMC says it's centralizing all inpatient care at its hospital in Lidditz, known as the heart of Lancaster.
It's a pity that they cannot continue to serve Lancaster like they have been. It's changes, and it's not for the good.
In Lancaster, Meredith Jorgensen, WGAL News 8.
UPMC Pinnacle Lancaster will be closed by March of 2019. There's no plan yet for the future use of the building.
Police in York are looking for this man. They say DeJuan Williams Banks is wanted for shooting a 16-year-old in the chest. The shooting happened last month in the 900 block of Hay Street. Investigators say the victim was targeted. Banks is charged with homicide and aggravated assault.
A man from Lancaster has been found guilty of first-degree murder for shooting a man last year. A jury found that 50-year-old Jose Ferrafino intended to kill Hugo Garcia Hernandez inside his home in Providence Township. He'll spend the rest of his life in prison. Alejandro Cruz Santiago is also charged in the case. He admitted to helping Ferrafino kill the man.
A York man is behind bars tonight after police say he shot a man in the head. It happened early Saturday morning on the 300 block of West King Street. Today, the U.S. Marshals Fugitive Task Force announced the arrest of 39-year-old Juan Torres Correa at a home on the 400 block of West King Street. He's facing several charges, including aggravated assault and illegally possessing a firearm. The man who was shot is expected to be okay.
Police in Harrisburg are trying to identify 3 men who they say robbed a pharmacy. It happened on Saturday just before 5 p.m. at the Rite Aid on the 2100 block of North 3rd Street. Police say 2 of the suspects jumped the pharmacy counter and 1 hit the pharmacist over the head with his gun before demanding drugs. The 3 men then ran out of the store. The pharmacist was treated for a minor concussion. Dauphin County Crime Stoppers is offering a reward of up to $2,000 for information that leads to an arrest.
A Susquehanna Valley retired federal judge will soon be conducting special investigations for the NFL.
WGAL News 8 Susan Shapiro has the details.
A retired federal judge from Lancaster County has been named a special investigator for the NFL concussion settlement program. Lawrence Stengel will investigate possible fraudulent claims submitted to the concussion fund. The NFL previously reached a multi-million-dollar settlement over lawsuits concerning the long-term effects of football players' head injuries. Judge Stengel will support the implementation of the settlement agreement by leading the investigation of possibly fraudulent claim submissions. Stengel retired in August as chief judge for the U.S. District Court for the Eastern District of Pennsylvania. He is also serving on the Independent Oversight Committee for the Archdiocese of Philadelphia. Susan Shapiro, WGAL News 8.
Coming up.
A holiday tradition for Susquehanna Valley youngsters and the police. I'm Ed Weinstock. I'll tell you about a shopping spree going on inside this store.
Also ahead, the dozens of programs at the Salvation Army that offer a helping hand to kids and families in need.
Bright sunny day today, but more clouds on the way for tomorrow. They'll be harmless, though. Some of those clouds, though, could bring a little touch of snow on Thursday. Not much impact from it, but we'll show you coming up. Warmer, but maybe a little wet as we head into the weekend. I'll have all the details in just a bit.